finally coming to work should also be about relationships you build. I mean, I like the old Japanese culture of, 30 years in one corporation, and you feel so strongly about the company you worked for, you feel proud. It's like our college, we feel proud about our college or your school and so on. So you have a sense of belonging. Whereas these don't have. You're looking for the next buyer and therefore the next project.
Built to last. They're not
I think we are in between right now. What will happen really, maybe all of them will become a Google and therefore everybody will be happy,
One last question there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Not a question actually, just a viewpoint. You were talking about manufacturing being a man's thing and all that. I work for a manufacturing company, I work for a public sector. All my bosses, including people in HR, finance, IT, management services department, everything is actually headed by women.
Wow.
Yeah, so they actually bring in a very, very good perspective towards it. You say union negotiations do not happen with women. My boss actually talks to union all the day, every day. And there is a thing that, with a man, actually a man fights. With a man fights in unions. Generally, it's always, real fights that happen. But with a woman HOD that I have, it's a dialogue that happens. People actually talk to each other. They listen to each other. So in manufacturing, not actually a man's job. It is a very, very a good thing that a woman, if she is there in the leadership position, it brings in a lot of changes and a very, very positive changes.
We talked about, needing role models.
Yes.
In individuals. We need role models like that in organizations as well.
That's true.
So, we must showcase that. I think there is some responsibility for the organization to showcase what you're doing.
That's true.
So that others can aspire.
These people are inducted in 1990s back then. Now they are all here right and now, actually to take up all the leadership positions. And so it's actually a good thing if manufacturing people can have women. It will bring in a different angle altogether.
Thank you for sharing that. I have one question, Bhaskar, I want to ask you. And we're going back a little bit more from the larger gender diversity to the boardrooms again. I want to ask you, have you come across anything where you saw a culture which did not, while there was diversity or token diversity, it was not an inclusive culture? Or somebody was feeling a little uncomfortable, and how that could be addressed. Because as you said, if it is one woman, 1 out of 8 or 1 out of 12.
Yeah. This is, again, I don't know whether it's general, but that's where I started thinking about 1 versus 2, How should I put it? In a social setup, as in outside the board, we meet, and most men end up drinking, you want to have a nice drink and you want to have a good time. And then you find that the lady director is uncomfortable. And then the men feel that she's not participating, I don't know, you know how it is, no? We start singing, whatever we start doing. And then that relationship, in the boardroom it is good. She wants to stand out, she's not participating. I keep telling them, you had a drink, she doesn't want to drink. And just because you're boisterous doesn't mean that. So I found this, maybe it would have been better if, if there were 2 women. So that is when this whole thing started. So the point is, I think because of the predominance of men in most boards, in such situations, in the board, when you're professional, you have been inducted to do a job. So excelling at that is what, like she said, is what they'll do, and they'll do courageously. But in socializing, there is a certain level of discomfort, and how can boards help to make sure that there is more socialization or integration is a it is work in progress. Exactly.
Okay. We're at 3:02.
Yeah, perfect.
So Thank you so much for being such a lively audience. And thank you once again, Bhaskar.
Thank you, Hema. You made it happen. I was just answering all the questions.
Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks to both of you for this very crucial and candid conversation which we were a part of, and I'll request Mr. Kamal Singh to do the honors. We look forward to continued patronage of both of you to National HRD Network. Pipeline of women leaders. This session will be chaired by Ms. Rachna Mukherjee, and we have three eminent panelists for this session. Ms. Sunita Cherian, Vice President HR and Head of Gender Diversity, Wipro Technologies. Mr. R. Rajnarayan, CHRO, Titan Company. Ms. Amita Kasbekar, Inclusion Lead, Deloitte. I will request the session chair, Ms. Rachna Mukherjee, and the panelists Sunita, Rajnarayan and Amita to join us on the stage, please. Let's welcome them with a round of applause. We hand over the proceedings to Ms. Rachna Mukherjee, please.